Hi there! In my last video I talked about a concept called rhythmic diction, and I do already have a video recorded in which I share specific strategies for ensuring that our consonants don't significantly obstruct the airflow or the freedom and resonance of our vowels. But I forgot to share an exercise with you, so I'm going to do that right now before I forget again. In this exercise, basically all we do is we take the vocal phrase and we remove the element of pitch. And all we do is we sing the vocal phrase on a single pitch. So it's going to sound very monotone, literally. And what we do is we focus on keeping the meter of the phrase exactly as it's written. We just remove the element of pitch. The purpose of this exercise is basically to allow us an opportunity to really listen very closely to our vowels and to nitpick through how we define those vowels in terms of how we shape or form them here in the resonator tract, and focusing on things like constancy of vowel definition. That is ensuring that we're not moving our tongues or our jaws or our lips mid-vowel. And this includes diphthongs, right? Ensuring that we're not introducing that off glide, the second vowel sound in that diphthong, prematurely and muddying up that resonance. And it allows us to really listen closely to how the consonants are being formed and to the impact that they have on the vowels around them before and after them, and to really take time on improving that rhythmic diction, ensuring that we keep those consonants light and quick and energized, and then spend a lot more time on our vowel sounds. We also want to pay attention to things like whether or not we're introducing nasalence or nasal resonance into non-nasalized vowels, especially when they're surrounded by or sandwiched between nasalized consonants, the M, N, and NG. So we want to elongate those vowels and not introduce any nasality prematurely, or let any of the nasality carry over from a preceding nasal consonant. So if we were to take a vocal phrase, let's say, I think I'll try defying gravity. I know it's very heady, but we're not focusing on that right now. All right, so basically we're going to sing this all on one pitch, and we're going to pay attention to the meter exactly as the song is written. However long we're supposed to sustain a given vowel sound when we're singing the actual melody is how long we're going to sustain it when we sing it on the single pitch. I think I'll try defying gravity. It's a little bit tricky to do sometimes because you're used to the melody, but so what we're doing here is now we're going to pick apart our vowels. We're going to pay attention to how we're forming them. So I'm going to try that again, but this time I'm going to intentionally introduce the off glide of all the diphthongs prematurely. All right? I think I'll try defying gravity. I think I'll try defying gravity. All right, so I didn't like how my vowels sounded. So then I have to go and do a little detective work and figure out why. In this case, I know that I'm introducing that off glide a little bit too soon, so I want to just sort of sustain that on glide. So that's what I'm going to focus on now. I think I'll try defying gravity. I think I'll try defying gravity. So I'm not moving anything here. I'm not reshaping the vowel while I'm sustaining it. And that cleans it up quite a bit. Now, in this case, I don't have any specific consonants that are kind of tripping me up, getting in the way. But there are some situations, some consonant clusters in particular, that do tend to trip me up. I have a song, for example, an original song that has the word break in it twice. And I have a really bad habit, especially when the composition affords me a little bit of extra time, to create an extra syllable. So I say break, break. I add an sound in there. I don't know why I do it. The second time I sing that break in the chorus, it's a shorter note. The note is given less duration, so I don't have time to do that. So I don't have that same issue. So in that case, I would go through and I would make sure that I'm not doing that. I would try to get myself out of the habit of adding that extra syllable. Because if I add that extra syllable, now I have two syllables to try to fit on a single note. So now I'm saying burr, and that means that the ache, where the vowel is, the A, doesn't really have much time to resonate. And so that what ends up happening in this case is I start to kind of go off the meter of the composition a little bit, and I start to kind of shift things down a little bit, down the measure, and then eventually I start to catch up and I get back on the timing of the song. But if I'm not really, really careful, I will tend to sort of fall behind because I'm giving too much time to those consonant clusters, in particular those consonant clusters that contain the R's. So GR, TR, BR, any of those consonant clusters. I don't know why I do it, but I do. So I'm actively working on that because I know that I need to break that down. Break, I'm not saying break, but sometimes I do, even in speech. So break that down. So basically I would catch myself singing, if I knew the words to speak to break this silence. You hear that break, right? So I catch myself, if I knew, don't want to introduce the what too soon, knew the words. And I want to make sure that I don't use too much R in that word words, because otherwise it kind of drags the tone down a little bit. R has a really low third formant, and so it can kind of really darken that vowel, which doesn't really fit with the rest of the vowels. So I want to introduce a little bit less R into that R controlled syllable. If I knew the words to speak to break this silence. And sometimes that's just the kind of work that we need to do in order to ensure that our consonants are getting out of the way so that we can resonate more fully on our vowel sounds, which again are the musical component of the vocal phrase. So again, please stay tuned for that next diction video in which I will give you some specific tips and tricks for improving your consonants and ensuring that they don't deprive the vowel of its chance to shine. So in the meantime, please click the thumbs up button on this video and subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for watching.